In my past life, Fang Yao cried and said, the exam hall assignments are unfair. Our whole class should boycott them together. 37 people replied with +1. I spent 2 days calling each of them to talk them out of it until my throat was so inflamed I couldn't speak. In the end, everyone else went back to take the exam. Only Fang Yao herself missed the entry time. Her mother pointed at my face and screamed, "It's all your fault for talking everyone out of it." My daughter was left all alone. Lu Sei posted online, "Shin Chiha is the one who caused Fang Yao to miss the college entrance exam." The whole class shared the post. I was cyberbullied for 3 months. The day I fell from the 7th floor, my phone screen was still lit. The screen froze on that message with 0 replies. Please, just check the chat history. I didn't cause what happened to her. Then, my eyes opened again. June 1st, 6 days until the college entrance exams. The class group chat, 99 plus unread messages. Fang Yao, guys, the exam venue assignments are out. Why on earth did they put us at the number 11 high school? A 40-minute drive away. 37 plus 1s. I stared at the screen for 3 seconds. Left the group chat. Chapter 1. June 1st, 2:17 p.m. My phone buzzed over 40 times. All private messages from Zhou Yan. Hee hee. Why did you leave the group chat? Fang Yao is organizing a petition to protest the exam venue assignments. You need to come back. From Lu Sei. Shin Chiha. The whole class is fighting for our rights. What's the meaning of you leaving the group? Fang Yao sent a long paragraph separately. Chiha, I know you might think I'm being impulsive, but this really isn't fair. The number 11 high school is a 40-minute drive from our school. What if we get stuck in traffic and the air conditioning is broken? How can you bear to see everyone take their exams in conditions like that? I stared at the message, my nails digging into my palm. She said the exact same thing in my past life. The exact same phrasing. The exact same. How can you bear it? Back then, I believed her. I thought she genuinely had everyone's best interests at heart. I made 37 phone calls, one after another. My vocal cords were so swollen it hurt to even drink water. I was on my knees, begging the last few hesitant classmates to go back and take the exam. Everyone listened to me and obediently entered the examination hall. Fang Yao stood alone at the entrance of the test center, holding a sign that said, "Protest," with no one by her side. She missed the admission time. Then, everything changed. Her mother stormed into the school, pointing her finger in my face, spitting as she yelled, "You're the one who talked everyone into leaving." My daughter was left alone and couldn't get in. "You're the murderer," Lu Sei posted on his social media that very night, with a picture of Fang Yao crouching and crying at the test center entrance. The caption was 6 words. Shin Chiha, murderer. The whole class shared it. Not a single person I had helped stood up to say a word in my defense. 3 months. The whole school branded me as the one who ruined my classmates' futures. Someone threw water on me in the hallway. My backpack was stuffed in the trash. And every day, new words appeared on my desk. In the end, I stood on the rooftop of the 7th floor, the wind whipping through my uniform. A whole playground full of people below me. No one looked up. As I fell, the only sound in my ears was the wind in this life. I don't give a damn what happens to any of you. I saved screenshots of all the private messages into a new folder, naming it evidence. Then, I started a screen recording on my phone and archived every message, every screenshot, every voice note Fang Yao sent in the group chat. Had already exported all the records from before I left the group. Over 300 of them, not a single one missing. After doing all this, I called my mom. "Mom, you and Dad don't need to see me off on the day of a college entrance exam. But could you buy me a spare phone? It just needs to be able to record video. Nothing fancy." There was a 2-second pause on the other end of the line. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong yet," I said, "but it's about to be." My mom didn't ask any more questions. She just said, "I'll mail it to you tomorrow," and hung up. 9 o'clock in the evening. My phone vibrated again. A private message on Weibo. It was from Fang Yao's account. A long post accompanied by 9 screenshots. They were all chat records from the class group, with my message about leaving the group circled in red. The title read, Someone in our class chose to be a deserter while the rest of us were fighting for fairness. There were over 20 comments below. What kind of person just runs off at a critical moment? So selfish. Someone like that would be the first to betray their teammates once they enter society. Fang Yao didn't mention me by name directly, but the top comment in the threaded at me. It was Lu Se. He said, "Shinikaha, you need to come out and explain this yourself. In my past life, when I saw this, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I called Fang Yao overnight to apologize and beg her to delete the post. This time around, I took a screenshot and saved it to my evidence folder. Then I switched my phone to Do Not Disturb and turned off the light before closing my eyes. The sound of the wind from the 7th floor in my past life surfaced in my mind. This time, the wind only blows on other people's faces." Chapter 2, June 2nd, 7 o'clock in the morning. The doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Xiao Nian along with 2 other girls, Lin Ku and Zhang Yutong. The three of them stood in the hallway. Xiao Nian a bag of steam buns, her face a picture of awkwardness. I opened the door without a word. Xian Nian spoke first. Hee, did you have a falling out with Fang Yao? She posted on Weibo last night. I saw it. Then why don't you explain yourself in the group chat? Everyone's got the wrong idea about you. What wrong idea? Lin Ku chimed in. Well, everyone thinks you left the group because you don't support the collective action. The protest Fang Yao organized actually makes a lot of sense. What protest? Lin Ku paused, glancing at Zhang Yutong. Zhang Yutong adjusted her glasses and said quietly, Fang Yao said that on the day of the Gaokao, our whole class should gather at the entrance of the number 11 high school testing center. We'll hold up signs to protest the unfair exam venue assignments, so the Education Bureau sees us. We'll and there for 10 minutes to make our point, then go in to take the test. And for 10 minutes? I repeated. Right, just 10 minutes. Fang Yao timed it out. The exam starts at 9 o'clock. We gather at 8:50 and until 9 o'clock sharp, then all go in together. We'll definitely be at our desks before 9:15. What about the security check? Zhang Yutong was caught off guard. What? Getting into the Gaokao exam site requires a security check. Scanning your ID and verifying your exam admission ticket photo. That's at least 3 to 5 minutes per person. If all 37 of you rush over at once, how long do you think the line will be? The 3 of them fell silent. Xianyan opened her mouth. Fang Yao mentioned this. She said the number 11 school has 3 entrances. Those 3 entrances aren't just for your class. The entire testing center serves hundreds of people. The hallway was quiet for a few seconds. I leaned against the door frame, staring at the 3 of them. In my past life, I said the exact same words, explaining them to everyone one by one. I made 37 phone calls until my voice was hoarse. I'm done here, I said, averting my gaze. Figure it out yourselves. Don't come to me. But Fang Yao's college entrance exam is hers, and mine is my own. I closed the door. I didn't take the steamed bun. Back in my room, leaning against the door, I heard the 3 of them whispering as they walked back down the hallway. Has she lost her mind? She wasn't like this before. Forget it. Let's go tell Fang Yao. Only when the footsteps faded did I unclench my fist. The white marks were left on my knuckles. That afternoon, Fang Yao called me herself. I turned on my phone's voice recorder and answered. Chi-ha, came her signature nasal voice over the line, choked with tears. Do you have a problem with me? If you do, you can tell me directly. You don't have to leave the group chat and hurt everyone's feelings like that. I don't have a problem. Then why won't you and with everyone? We're fighting for fairness for the whole class. The conditions at the number 11 high school testing site are really poor. I asked around. Last year, students who tested there generally scored lower. So, your solution is to have everyone protest at the entrance for 10 minutes, risking missing the admission cutoff. Fang Yao fell silent for 2 seconds. When she spoke again, her tone had shifted, laced with something I knew all too well. A blade wrapped in wounded feelings. Shin-chi-ha, do you know you're the only one in the whole class who left the group? 37 people are willing to and up. You're the only one who backed down. Do you think that's acceptable? Whether it's acceptable or not is none of your business. You, Fang Yao, you go ahead with your protest, and I'll take my exam. You don't bother me, and I won't bother you. Fair enough. I hung up the phone recording. Saved. File name 0602_Fang_Yao_call_1. Less than 10 seconds after hanging up, a message from Lu Zhe popped up. Shinchiha, you made Fang Yao cry. Are you proud of yourself? The whole class is fighting for fairness, and you're the only one hiding like a coward. How can you face everyone after 3 years of friendship? I stared at the message. In my past life, when Lu Zhe said these things, my heart raced, my palms sweated, and I sent back 3 paragraphs of apologies in a row. This time, I took a screenshot. I replied with 2 words, blocked, and then I actually blocked him. Klasmat camaraderie. When you were stepping over my corpse to defend Fang Yao, did those 4 words ever cross your mind? Chapter 3. June 3rd, Fang Yao didn't contact me again. She did something even bigger. At 12:30 p.m. Shen Yan sent a message. Hee, you need to see Fang Yao's livestream. Now. I clicked the link. Fang Yao was sitting in her bedroom. Hair in a ponytail. Wearing no makeup. Hair eyes rempredek schoten. She spoke slowly into her phone's camera. Hello, everyone. I am Fang Yao, a senior about to take the Gaokao. Today, I want to talk about something. All 38 students in our class have been assigned to the number 11 high school testing site. It's a 40-minute drive from our school. The facilities there are old, the air conditioning is broken, and the desks are wobbly. What gives the Education Bureau the right to make such an assignment? A comment scrolled by. You can do this, Junior. I organized our whole class to speak out together, hoping to get some attention. All 37 of them supported me. She paused, and tears fell. But there was one classmate who refused to participate from start to finish. She left the group chat, blocked the people who cared about her, and even told me, "Don't bother with me, and I won't bother with you." The chat exploded. Who is it that's so selfish? I don't want to say her name, but she really broke my heart. We've been classmates for 3 years. I thought when we faced something unfair, we could at least ST together. I stared at the screen, my nails digging into my palms. The number of viewers in the live stream went from 200 to 1, 300, then to 3, 000. Fang Yao choked up towards the end, wiping her tears with the back of her H, and the camera caught her desk, piled high with study materials, and a box of cold medicine. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for the whole class. Why am I the only one being hurt by someone so selfish? The barrage was a uniform sea of comments like, "My heart aches for you," and "We support you." And then, someone posted my name in the comments section. I don't know who it was, but they included a link to my Weibo profile. Within 3 seconds, my Weibo private messages were flooded. A torrent of abuse came pouring in. Shinchiha right. Noted. The whole class was willing to ST and up, and you were the only one who ran. How disgusting can you be? Someone like you shouldn't even take the college entrance exam. Getting into university would just make you a scourge. I saved the entire live stream recording, not missing a single second from start to finish. Fang Yao's tear-streaked face, the direction of the barrage, the comment where someone leaked my info. I took screenshots of everything. Then, I opened my browser and navigated to the reporting page on the streaming platform. Reason for report: disclosing a minor's personal information and inciting online harassment. Submit. After doing that, I gave my mom a call. "Mom, has the backup phone arrived?" "Yes, it was delivered this afternoon. I need you to help me with a second thing. Go ahead. Can you check for me if someone leaks my personal information online and incites others to harass me? Can I report it to the police?" My mom fell silent on the other end of a line for 3 seconds, her voice dropping lower. "Shinchiha, be honest with me. Is someone bullying you?" "Not yet." "What do you mean?" "Not yet." "Mom, I'm just preparing in advance. Just ask the lawyer for me." "Don't worry." My mom was silent again for a moment. "I'll go ask a lawyer today. If you suffer any injustice at school, call me immediately. Do you hear me?" "I hear you." After hanging up, I checked the evidence folder. 317 group chat records, 1 private chat audio recording from Fang Yao, for screenshots of threatening messages from Lu Se, one screenshot of a lengthy Weibo post, one live stream recording, one screenshot of a comment leaking personal information, and one copy of the complaint receipt. 6 days. Only 2 have passed. Is that enough? No, it's not, far from enough. Chapter 4. June 4th. The storm intensified. At 8 o'clock in the morning, a text message popped up on my phone from an unknown number. Just one line. Shinchiha, if you dare to walk into the college entrance exam alone, just you wait. It wasn't signed, but I recognized the last 4 digits of the number. 1074. It was Lu Se's backup phone. In my past life, he had this number too, specifically for sending messages he didn't want traced back to him. I took a screenshot. At 9:30, someone knocked on my door. It wasn't a knock. It was a pounding. I peered through the peephole. Lu Se, along with 2 other guys, Wang Hao and He Ming. The 3 of them were blocking the doorway. Lu Se had his hands in his pockets, his face taut. Shinchiha, open the door. I didn't move. Fang Yao cried all night because of you. And now she has a fever. Did you even know that? Are you even human? Wang Hao slammed his palm against the door. Open up and talk. What's the point of hiding in there? I pulled out my backup phone, the one that arrived yesterday afternoon, the one my mom bought, turned on the video recorder, and aimed the lens through the peephole. The door didn't open. I have nothing to say to you. It's my door. My house. I'm not opening it. And that's final. If you keep banging, I'm calling the police. The hallway fell silent for a couple of seconds. He Ming muttered something under his breath. Probably something like, let's go. Don't make a scene. Lu Se didn't leave. He stared in the direction of the peephole for a few seconds, his voice dropping to a tone colder than before. Shinchiha, mark my words. Fang Yao did all this for the good of the whole class. You not stepping up is one thing, but if you betray everyone on the day of the Gaokao, you'll never know a moment's peace for the rest of your life. Then he turned and left. The sound of his footsteps faded away down the stairwell. I stopped the recording on my backup phone, saved the file, and named it 0604_home_intimidatin'. My fingers were ice cold. It wasn't fear. It was hatred. I haven't forgotten for a single second what those 3 did in my past life. Lu Se was the one who started the online smear campaign. Wang Hao was the one who stuffed trash into my backpack. He Ming never laid and on me. But every time someone cornered me in the hallway, he just st in there and watched with a smile. That day on the 7th floor rooftop, the icy wind that rushed down my collar is a memory etched into my very bones. In this life, every word you utter will become the rope that hangs you. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I went to the police station. The officer on duty was a middle-aged man. He glanced at my phone screen, the threatening text messages, the video of them banging on my door, the screenshots of Fang Yao's live stream leaking my information, and frowned. Are you sure you want to file a report? You're all classmates. I'm sure in these few days before the college entrance exams. Could you try to talk it out amongst yourselves? Officer, someone sent me a text threatening. You'll see. 3 guys came to my house and pounded on my door. And someone online leaked my personal information to incite harassment. Is that enough to open a case? He looked at me. There were no tears on my face, no trembling, none of the fear an 18-year-old girl is supposed to have. I just stared at him. He nodded and turned on his computer. All right, let's take your statement. By the time I finished giving my statement and stepped outside, dusk was falling. My phone now had over a dozen unread messages, all from classmates, and all singing the same tune. Chiha, Fanya really does have everyone's best interests at heart. Just do us this favor. Come back. Okay. Do you have any idea how hurtful you're being? Everyone else is going. Don't you feel bad being the only one who isn't? I took a screenshot of each message, one by one, and didn't reply to a single one. The last one was a voice message from Fang Yao. I tapped to play it. Chiha. Her voice was thick with a nasal tone, as if she'd been crying. I don't know what I did to make you hate me so much. If I hurt you somehow, just tell me, please. We grew up together. You weren't like this before. At the end of the voice message, she sniffled. In my past life, when I heard that message, Tears immediately streamed down my face, and I wondered if I had truly been too cold and selfish this time around. After listening to it, I did only one thing. I saved the recording to my evidence folder. Then I texted my mom. Police report filed. Statement record number 202X0604-0037. My mom replied instantly. Okay. The lawyer will contact you tomorrow. Chapter 5, June 5th. The lawyer my mom hired called. Her surname was Liao. She was a woman, and she spoke very quickly. Ms. Shun, your mother has briefed me on the situation. I've reviewed the evidence you compiled. At this stage, the threatening texts, the harassment at your residence, and the leaking of your personal information can all serve as grounds for pursuing your rights. For now, I recommend you focus on 3 things. Go ahead. First, keep saving all the evidence. Make sure your screenshots include timestamps. Second, if anyone tries to stop you from entering the exam hall on Gaokao Day, find the police officers on duty immediately. Third, and most importantly, do not get into any physical altercations with them. Understood? One more thing. Before you enter the exam hall on Gaokao Day, give your backup phone to a trusted adult for safekeeping. Phones aren't allowed in the exam room, but keep a recording on your way there. Okay. After hanging up, I sat at my desk, fully charged the backup phone, and tested its recording function. The picture was clear, and the audio pickup was fine. I slipped it into my school uniform pocket. It fit perfectly, and was undetectable from the outside. In the afternoon, Zhonyan arrived. This time, she was alone. She stood in the doorway, her eyes red, clutching a note in her and hee, I don't know what to do. What's wrong? Fang Yao said. We're all supposed to meet at the entrance of number 11 high school at 8:50 on the day of the Gaokao. Everyone holds up a sign for 10 minutes. Then we all go in together. She calculated the timing, and it should be fine. But I'm scared. She bit her lip. I looked it up. You can't enter more than 15 minutes after the exam starts. It begins at 9 o'clock, and the doors close at 9:15. The security check line takes time. What if we don't make it? I looked at her. Zhao Nian was the first person in our class to look up the rules herself. She was also the only one who came to me and said, I'm scared. In a past life, I pulled her back from the edge of the cliff. I called. I texted. I wrote long essays analyzing the pros and cons. I used every ounce of my strength to get her and the others back to the exam hall. In my whole life, I only said one sentence. Figure it out for yourself. Zhao Nian was stunned for a moment, but everyone else is going. If I'm the only one who doesn't, their college entrance exam is theirs. Your exam is your own. No one can take it for you, and no one can make your choices for you. But I'm afraid of Fang Yao. Afraid of what? What can she possibly do to you? Can she go to university in your place? Zhao Nian fell silent. She stood there for a long time. So long that the motion sensor light in the hallway turned off and came back on twice. Finally, she sniffled, said, I need to think about it, and left. I closed the door. I didn't run after her to stop her, nor did I call to plead with her repeatedly. Zhao Nian, the path is at your feet this time. You have to walk it yourself. 11 o'clock at night, everyone had fallen silent. I reviewed the evidence folder one more time. Group chat logs, private message screenshots, call recordings, live stream captures, threatening texts, doorbell camera footage, police report receipts, and records of calls with the lawyer. Each document was sorted chronologically, backed up in 2 copies, one in the cloud, and one on a USB drive. Then, the final message popped up on my phone. Loose, I sent it from a new number. Shin Chiha, tomorrow's the last day. The college entrance exam is at 9 o'clock in the morning. The day after tomorrow. Think carefully. Do you want to ST and with everyone, or be an outcast to the whole class for the rest of your life? I took a screenshot. Then I shut down my phone. Tomorrow? No, the day after tomorrow. You'll find out the day after tomorrow. Chapter 6, June 6th. The final day before the college entrance exam. The whole world was saying, good luck tomorrow. My mom called first thing in the morning. Where's your exam admission ticket? Your ID card? Did you sleep well last night? Should your dad And I take time off to come be with you. No. I'm fine. Are you sure? All by yourself. Mom. Let's talk after the exam. Don't worry. After hanging up, I put my exam admission ticket, an ID card into a clear plastic bag, and placed it in the front pocket of my backpack. 2 2B pencils, one 0.5 millimeters black gel pen, an eraser, a ruler, the exam admission ticket, and my ID card. I checked each item one by one, confirming everything was in order. Then I checked the backup phone. Battery at 100%, ample storage space, video recording function working normally. I slipped it into the inside pocket of my school uniform. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a message circulated in the class group chat, the one I had already left. Zhao Yan sent me a screenshot of it. Fangya posted a long message in the group chat, every word carefully chosen, her tone like a pre-battle pep talk. The college entrance exam is tomorrow. I know everyone's nervous, but the more nervous we are, the more we can't back down. We've all seen the conditions at the number 11 high school testing site. If we put up with it this time, every graduating class after us will be treated the same way. The plan for tomorrow ends. Assemble at the main gate of number 11 high at 8:50 a.m. The whole class in uniform, holding our signs, will be in position before 9 o'clock, making sure everyone present sees where we end. The moment the bell rings at 9 o'clock, we all go in together to take the exam. There's a 15-minute entry window. Plenty of time. I've run the numbers again and again. Remember, this isn't about causing trouble. It's about fairness. Not a single one of us can be missing. Below came another wave of identical replies. Got it. See you tomorrow. Shang Yutong. Got it. Lin Ku. Let's do this. Wang Hao. No problem. He Ming. I'm here. Lu Sei, the one deserter in our class, finally got the boot. The rest of you, nobody better screw up tomorrow. I saved these screenshots into a folder in order. Did Fangya calculate the time? She only accounted for the 15-minute window between 9 o'clock and 9:15. She didn't factor in the queue time for 37 people, all rushing to the security checkpoint at once. She didn't account for the peak flow of hundreds of other examinees from other exam halls, and classes at number 11 high school all entering at the same time. She didn't account for the 150 m from the main gate to the exam building. All of this, I calculated in my past life. I calculated it all down to the last detail, calling them one by one to say, it's too late. It's really too late. They listened to me. Fangya didn't. In this life, no one will settle their accounts for them. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Shang Yan sent a message. It was just 3 words. I'm so scared. I stared at the screen for 10 seconds. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I typed a line, then deleted it. I typed 4 new words instead. You decide. Sent. Then I put down my phone, drew the curtains, and got into bed. The alarm is set for 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. From my place to number 11 high school. It's a 45-minute bus ride or a 20-minute taxi ride. I hailed a cab. I planned to leave at 7:15, arriving at the test center by 7:35, with the doors opening at 8:30. Waiting an hour was more than acceptable. In my past life, I had these timings memorized cold. This time around, I'm only using them to plan for myself. Before closing my eyes, I placed the backup phone next to my pillow, fully charged. On ST, and by like an unsheathed sword. Chapter 7, June 7th, Gaokao Day. The alarm was set for 6, but I woke up at 5:50. It was already light outside. The air was thick and muggy, the kind of stifling heat that makes it hard to breathe. I washed my face, brushed my teeth, put on my school uniform, and checked my backpack, admission ticket, ID card, pencil case, confirming each item one by one. I slipped my backup phone into the inner pocket of my school jacket and zipped it up. At 7:15, I left the house and hailed a cab. The taxi driver was a chatty middle-aged man. As soon as I got in, he said, "Big exam today." "Huh. Good luck, kid." I gave a non-committal, huh, and didn't say anything else. The streets outside were deserted. Traffic had been cleared for the Gaokao. At 7:38, I arrived at number 11 high school. Police tape was already up at the entrance. 2 officers stood on either side, while a few volunteers in vests directed parents to the waiting area. It wasn't quite 8 o'clock yet, and there weren't many exam candidates around. I got out of the car and walked towards the main gate with my backpack. It was quiet. No one was chanting slogans or holding up signs. Fang Yao and the others hadn't arrived yet. At 8:30, the admission gates opened. I handed my exam admission ticket, an ID card to the staff, went through security, had my identity verified, and walked into the exam building. The whole process took 4 minutes. I counted. It took another 3 minutes to walk from the main gate to my exam room. 305, on the 3rd floor. At 8:37, I was seated at my desk. The desk was wobbly, the air conditioner was silent, and the classroom was stiflingly hot, but I sat down. More candidates filed into the exam hall. Most from other schools. They looked nervous, quietly checking their admission tickets. 8:45, the window wasn't shut properly, and a faint sound drifted in from outside. I didn't turn around, but a boy sitting by the window leaned out to look, then turned back with a strange expression on his face. What's going on out there? The entrance is packed. They're all wearing the same school uniforms and holding up signs. My and holding the pen didn't tremble. They're here. 8:45, Fang Yao's assembly time was 5 minutes ahead of schedule. But what she didn't know was that she was already too late. By 8:50, the noise outside had grown louder. The faint buzz of a loudspeaker could be heard, likely a test center staff member making an announcement. Examinees, please proceed into the examination hall immediately. Please proceed in immediately. 9 o'clock, the examination hall bell rang. The proctor walked in and closed the door. Examinees, we will now begin distributing the Chinese language exam papers. Please remain quiet. The exam paper lay spread out on the desk. I picked up my pen and wrote down my name and exam registration number, my and was steady. The noise from outside seemed farther away, or perhaps it was just shut out by the closed door. I began answering the questions. After looking at the essay prompt for 3 seconds, the approach to tackling it automatically surfaced in my mind in a past life. I had taken this very college entrance exam. I couldn't remember the specific content, but the muscle memory was still there. The pen tip met the answer sheet with a soft scratching sound. 9:10, 9:12, 9:14, 9:15. I had no idea what was happening outside, but the entire exam hall was perfectly still. All I could hear was the sound of my own pen scratching on paper, and the soft tap of the invigilator's leather shoes on the floor. The door closed. 15 minutes had passed. Chapter 8. The Chinese exam was over. It was 11:30 as I stepped out of the exam building. The sun hit me square in the face, forcing me to squint. Before I even reached the main gate, I heard crying, not just one person, but several. Beyond the police tape at the exam center entrance stood a dense crowd, parents, students in uniforms, and 2 police officers. Fang Yu was crouched on the curb, her face buried in her hands, her whole body trembling. Her mother stood beside her, face ashen, lips quivering wordlessly. Lu Zhe leaned against a lamp post, pounding the back of his head with his fist, his eyes rimmed red. Wang Hao sat on the ground, the collar of his uniform soaked with sweat, clutching a crumpled exam admission ticket. He Ming was hunched over by a flower bed, retching. Shang Yutong stood on the outskirts of the crowd, her face streaked with tears, her legs trembling. Lin Ku slumped in the parent's chair, lips quivering, unable to speak. 37 people. No, not 37. I scanned the area. 1 person was missing. Zhao Nian wasn't there. I walked with my head down, my gaze fixed ahead, skirting the crowd as I made my way toward the roadside. Xian Chiha! Lu Zhe's voice exploded from behind me. I didn't look back. Heavy footsteps rushed toward me, carried on a gust of wind. Then and shot out, and clamped onto my wrist with a bone-crushing grip. You son of a! He yanked me around to face him. His eyes were bloodshot, his lips pulled back in a snarl, teeth grinding audibly. You knew all along, didn't you? You knew we wouldn't get in. Why didn't you say anything? 2 officers on duty rushed over in a few quick strides. Hey, let him go. Lu Zhe was pulled away. He was still struggling, still shouting. Shinchiha! You traitor! The whole class. All 37 of us. Chinese. It's all over. Are you happy now? The officers pinned him down. Fang Yao's mother rushed over, her fingernails nearly scratching my face. Did you do this on purpose? You went in alone. You took the exam alone. Why didn't you call them to go in with you? A female police officer stepped in front of me. Please calm down. Ma'am, are you all right? Mississippi. I shook my head. A red mark on my wrist burned sharply. Another officer asked me, do you need to have your injuries documented? No, I said, but I want to file a report. He grabbed my wrist just now. And that parent tried to hit me. I have witnesses. Fang Yao's mother froze. Lu Zhe was still struggling, but his strength had noticeably waned. The parents and other examinees gathered around were all watching, their gazes a mix of pity, indifference, and bewilderment. A middle-aged man stood at a distance, filming with his phone. I ignored them and turned to the policewoman. Officer, I already gave a statement at the XX police station on June 4th, case number 202X0604-0037. After being threatened and harassed by these people, I'd like to add today's incident to the record. The policewoman nodded. All right, come with me to the temporary duty post in a moment to make a statement. You have another exam this afternoon. Right. I won't keep you long. While giving my statement, I glanced out the window from the corner of my eye. Fang Yao was still crouched by the curb. Her mother was crying and shouting into her phone, her voice shrill enough to pierce through the walls. It's a disaster. Over 30 kids failed the Chinese exam. It's all because of, she faltered. Because of who? Blame Fang Yao. She's her own mother's daughter, blamed the school. The school assigned exam locations strictly according to procedure. Blame me. I sat on the metal chair at the duty post, the red marks on my wrists still visible. The officer reached the last line of a statement and asked, is there anything else you'd like to add? I thought for a moment. Please add this. I left the class group chat on June 1st and was subsequently harassed and threatened on multiple occasions. On the day of the Gaokao, I entered the exam hall on time, y comita no violaciones, and had no obligation to remind or prevent other students from making their own decisions. The officer wrote it down. Stepping out of the temporary duty post, the sun beat down, making the ground scorching hot. Fang Yao and her mother had already left. Lu Zhe had been taken away by his father. There was still a trampled protest sign on the ground with a few scrolled words on it. Give us justice. A gust of wind blew by, flipping the sign over. The back was blank. Justice in my past life. When all 37 of you pointed at me and called me a murderer. Where was the justice then? Chapter 9. After finishing the afternoon math exam, I left the test hall. As soon as I turned my phone on, it was flooded with notifications. Fang Yao had posted a new update. No, not just on her social media feed, but across Weibo, forums, and short video platforms. All at the same time. The title says it all. The whole class boycotts the unfair exam. One traitor goes in alone. Shinchiha, you owe us an explanation. The attached photo is from outside number 11 high school this morning. Over 30 students in uniform street and outside the exam site. Their expressions a mix of anger and despair, with the exam hall visible in the distance. The post is long, but it boils down to one core accusation. Shinchiha knew in advance we wouldn't make it on time. She deliberately didn't tell us and snuck in by herself. There are already thousands of comments. What kind of person does that? Isn't this just screwing over your own teammates on purpose? Please share. Let everyone see this utterly selfish person. I saw the live stream. This Fang Yao mentioned before that someone from their class left the group chat. I can't believe it was actually intentional. Shinchiha, you better come out and explain yourself tonight, or don't blame netizens for what happens next. Lu Zhe replied in the comments, posting 3 consecutive follow-ups. Shinchiha refused to be involved from the very start, leaving the group, blocking people, calling the police. She planned every step to screw us over. The Chinese exams for the entire class of over 30 students are ruined, and she's the only one sitting in the exam hall answering questions. And you call this fair? At Shinchiha, will your family's conscience ever be at peace? I saved every single one of these screenshots. One by one, my hands were unnervingly steady. In my past life, at a time like this, I'd already be curled up in a corner, trembling, endlessly refreshing the comment section. Each hateful comment like a knife to the chest. In this life, the notification sound for each saved screenshot rings in my ears like the sound of a bullet being chambered. Zhao sent a message. Hee hee. Are you okay? Everyone online is tearing into you. Did you make it into the exam hall today? Barely. I made a run for it at 8:55. Got away from Fang Yao and her crew. I just cleared security at 9:13. Almost didn't make it. You came out here on your own. No one dragged you. No one talked you into it. You made a choice. I'll handle things from here on out. I replied to her. Just worry about yourself. But they were saying such awful things about you. I know. Then I sent a second message. Zhao Yan, you getting to sit for that exam today was your own choice. Remember that. She didn't reply again that night. I turned off my phone. It wasn't that I was afraid to face it. I just didn't need to. All the evidence has been gathered. I sat down at my desk, turned on my computer, and began one task: to organize the timeline from June 1st to June 7th, arranged by date. What happened each day? Who said what? Who did what? The evidence reference numbers. And where they are stored. June 1st. Fangya created a group chat calling for a boycott. I left the group. Fangya posted the Weibo titled The Deserter. Evidence 0105. June 2nd. 3 people came to my home to persuade me. Fangya called. Crying audio recording. Luce made threats. Screenshot. Evidence 06-09. June 3rd. Fangya started a live stream. My personal information was leaked. I filed a report. Evidence 10-14. June 4th. Luce sent anonymous threatening text messages. 3 people came to my door and tried to break it down. Video recording. I went to the police station to file a report. Evidence 15-19. June 5th. Consultation with lawyer. Continued gathering evidence. Evidence 20-22. June 6th. Fangya published an action plan. Luce issued an ultimatum. Evidence 23-26. June 7th. Scene at the exam center entrance. Luce makes a move. Fangya's mother gets involved. Supplementary police statements added. Evidence 27-33. 33 pieces of evidence. The timeline is complete. The chain of causation is clear. I shut down the computer and closed my eyes. 2 more exams tomorrow. We'll talk after the exams. Your day of reckoning can wait. Chapter 10. June 8th. The second day of the Gaokao. Comprehensive subjects in the morning. English in the afternoon. I didn't check my phone or go online. I took a cab to the exam site alone. Entered alone. And finished the test alone. Outside the exam hall, a few people in school uniforms were squatting. The ones who hadn't made it in yesterday with a 0 in Chinese. Even perfect scores in the next 3 exams couldn't salvage my results. But they still showed up. Some were crying. Some were staring blankly. And some were calling their parents. Their voices cracking. 2. This is Fangya wasn't there. Luce wasn't there. Either. After finishing the English exam in the afternoon, when I walked out of the number 11 high school gate, the sky had grown dark. The air was stiflingly heavy, weighed down by a layer of leaden gray clouds. I took out my phone and turned it on. The notification alerts kept popping up for a full 2 minutes. Fangya posted another long message, this time with a video. She was crying into the camera, her makeup smeared all over her face, her voice hoarse and shrill. Shenchiha, you've ruined the lives of over 30 classmates. You've been scheming against us since the day you left the group chat. You went into the exam hall alone ahead of time. You watched us get stopped outside, and you didn't say a word. You're the culprit. Under the video, Fang Yao's mother also posted a comment. My daughter stood up for the whole class, only to be betrayed by a traitor among them. This Shenchiha pretended not to participate, but she did it on purpose. She knew in advance they wouldn't be let in. Why didn't she say anything? Because she's heartless, and would watch people drown without lifting a finger. The comment section split into 2 camps. Half of them cursed me out. Traitor. Cold-blooded. Selfish. Not fit to be called human. The other half started asking, wait a minute. These people chose not to enter the exam hall themselves. What does that have to do with that girl? Voices of reason had emerged, but they were still drowned out by the torrent of abuse. I didn't respond to a single one. Back home, I organized and filed away the final batch of evidence I had collected over the past 2 days. Then, I turned on my computer. I created a new document titled Factual Account of the Gaokao Incident on June 7th. The body contained only one paragraph. My name is Shinji-ha, a student in a senior year class, from June 1st to June 7th, because I refused to participate in the boycott of exam hall assignment activity organized by my classmate Fang Yao. I was subjected to group harassment, threats, cyberbullying, personal information leaks, and physical assault. Below is a complete timeline and original screenshots of all evidence. None of the content has been edited or tampered with. What follows are the complete screenshots of 33 pieces of evidence, arranged chronologically. Every message, the transcript of every audio recording, key screenshots from every frame of video, along with the case numbers and receipts from the 2 police reports. The timeline begins with Fang Yao's first group message on June 1st and ends with Lu Zhe grabbing my wrist at the entrance of the exam center on June 7th. 7 days. A single line, without a single break. In the end, I added one final line. After leaving the class group chat on June 1st, I did not participate in any collective action, did not post any inflammatory remarks, and did not prevent anyone from entering the exam. Every choice made was their own. Before sending it, I hesitated for 3 seconds. It wasn't fear. I was pondering a question. In my past life, when I stood on the rooftop of the 7th floor, what I hated most wasn't Fang Yao, wasn't Lu Zhe, and wasn't those 37 people. What I hated most was that no one believed me. My chat logs, my call history, everything I had ever done. It all could have proven my innocence. But no one looked. No one was willing to look. All they saw were Fang Yao's tears. All they heard were Lu Zhe's furious shouts. And all they remembered was the conclusion that Shin-Chi-ha is the culprit. In this lifetime, you will see it. Every single word of it. Post, Weibo, Tieba, short video platforms, simultaneously. Then I shut down the computer and went to take a shower. An hour later, I came out to find my phone screen lit up. The comment section was in an uproar. I've gone through all the screenshots. Wait a minute. This Fang Yao was the one who organized the boycott campaign from start to finish. Shin-Chi had clearly left the group and was still threatened. Lu Zhe's message. If you dare to go in alone, just you wait. Isn't that straight up intimidation? And threats. 3 guys showed up and tried to break down the door on June 4th, and there's video footage. Someone in Fang Yao's live stream leaked Shin-Chi's personal information. Isn't that illegal? So, these people chose to ST and outside the exam center and not go in. And now they're blaming others for not reminding them when they missed the entry time. Where are all the people who were trashing Shin-Chi earlier? Come out and look at the evidence. Let me point out the most ridiculous part. Fang Yao's plan was to gather at 8:50 and not enter until 9 o'clock. It takes more than 15 minutes for over 30 people to get through security and walk to the exam hall. The plan itself had a fatal flaw. That guy, Lu Zhe, grabbing someone's wrist at the exam center entrance and yelling, "Traitor! There are police officers on duty at the Gaokao Center. Isn't that a public assault?" The tide has turned. It didn't shift slowly. It flipped in an instant because the evidence is too solid. So solid, there's no crack to argue against. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Fang Yao's Weibo comment section was overrun. Under every previous accusation she had posted, there was nothing but mockery and questioning. Fang Yao, you organized the event yourself, so you should face the consequences. How can you blame others? Shin-Chi left the group, tried to talk you out of it, called the police, recorded the incident, and gave a statement. What more do you want from her? To die for you? The only traitor in the class. No, she was the only smart one in the class. At 3 a.m. Fang Yao posted her final Weibo update. Just one sentence with no accompanying image. You don't know the full story. She's not what you think she is. There were 2,000 comments underneath it. Not a single one was on her side. Lu Zhe's account was doxed. All the aggressive posts he made about me on WeChat moments and Weibo were screenshotted by netizens and compiled into a collection titled, "A Look at This So-Called Champion of Justice." Shinchiha, can your whole family live with a clear conscience for the rest of your lives? Buddy, you do realize you assaulted someone, right? People like this really shouldn't be allowed out in society anymore. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Lu Zhe deleted all his posts. Wang Hao, Li Ming, Zhang Yutong, Lin Ko, they all followed suit one by one. But the screenshots had already spread across the internet. They can't be erased. Not a single one can be taken back. I placed my phone on the nightstand and turned off the light. The ceiling was pitch black. The wind from the 7th floor in my past life seemed to finally recede from the marrow of my bones. Just a little. Chapter 11. The matter didn't end with the online flame war. On June 12th, before the college entrance exam results were even released, Fang Yao's mother came to the school. She wasn't there to make a scene. She was there to beg. My homeroom teacher called me, her voice strained and tense. "Chiha, Fang Yao's parents would like to meet with you to apologize in person. What do you think?" No, her parents are being very sincere. "Teacher, are you aware that Fang Yao organized the whole class to boycott the Gaokao, leaked my personal information online, incited cyberbullying, and that her mother almost hit me at the exam site entrance?" There was a pause on the other end of the line. "I know, but as for that apology, she can discuss it with my lawyer." "A lawyer? You hired a lawyer?" "Hired on June 5th, the homeroom teacher was silent for a long time. I hung up the phone. On June 15th, the lawyer my mom found, Attorney Liao, formally filed 2 civil lawsuits with the court. The first, Fang Yao and related parties infringed upon reputation rights and privacy rights. Second item, Lu Zhe physically assaulted someone at the National College entrance exam site. And he be held accountable under Public Security Administration penalties. On June 18th, the police station notified us. Lu Zhe has been placed under 15 days of administrative detention for disrupting the order of a national examination and assaulting others. His father argued with the officers at the station entrance for half an hour and received 1 official warning. When Lu Zhe was taken inside, his face was completely blank. It wasn't calmness. It was as if his entire being had been hollowed out. In our past life, when he pointed at my nose and called me a murderer, his eyes were filled with self-righteous justice. In this life, as 2 officers escorted him inside, his eyes were completely empty. On June 23rd, the National College entrance exam results were released. I checked my score. Then I closed the page. Whether my score is enough for my dream school doesn't matter for now. What matters is all 4 of my subject scores are intact. Not a single one missing. That same day, the class group chat exploded. Not the one I was in. I'd left it long ago. Zhao Yan sent me screenshots. Fang Yao, 0 in Chinese. Total score in ruins. Lu Zhe, 0 in Chinese. Still in the detention center. Wang Hao, 0 in Chinese. His mom sent 500 voice messages in the group, all cursing Fang Yao. He Ming, 0 in Chinese. Word is his dad smashed his phone on the spot. Zhang Yutong, 0 in Chinese. Her mom cried outside the school gates all afternoon. Lin Ku, 0 in Chinese. Out of the 37 people, 23 stood their ground at the exam site entrance until the very end. They all received 0 marks in Chinese. 9 people made a run for it midway, managing to pass through security before 9:15. They saved their Chinese exam scores. Another 4 never even showed up at the exam site entrance to begin with. And then there was Zhou Nian. She was one of those 9 who turned and ran back with 2 minutes to spare. She told me, her voice still trembling. My legs gave out when I reached the security checkpoint. A staff member had to help me through the turnstile. When I finally sat down, the invigilator said, "1 more minute, and you wouldn't have been allowed in." She suddenly stopped. Then she said, "Thank you. I didn't do anything. You said, decide for yourself." I didn't respond. The court hearing took place in July. Fang Yao and her mother sat in the defendant's dock. Fang Yao had lost a significant amount of weight. Her cheekbones were sharp against her skin. Her lips were pale, and dark circles shadowed her eyes. Her mother sat beside her, her fingers incessantly rubbing the fabric of her trousers. making a faint rustling sound. Attorney Liao presented 33 pieces of evidence to the court, one by one: group chat logs, private message recordings, live stream screen captures, threatening text messages, video of them banging on her door, 2 police report transcripts, and surveillance footage, stills of Liu Sei's physical assault. All were arranged in chronological order. Fang Yao's lawyer attempted to argue that the plaintiff also had a duty to provide a warning. Attorney Liao immediately countered. My client explicitly withdrew and disengaged on June 1st. Subsequently, she was subjected to repeated harassment, threats, and online abuse from the defendants, culminating in a physical assault on the very day of her college entrance exams. I ask you, does a person who is being threatened have an obligation to proactively warn the very people threatening her? The courtroom fell silent for 3 seconds. Fang Yao's lips trembled, and a tear fell, hitting the surface of the defendant's table. But she made no sound. The verdict was H. handed down in early August. Fang Yao, guilty of infringing upon reputation and privacy rights, ordered to pay compensation for emotional distress and issue a public apology. Fang Yao's mother, her actions at the exam site entrance constituted creating a disturbance. She received a fine as punishment. Liu Sei, subject to 15 days of administrative detention, already served, ordered to pay civil compensation for medical expenses and emotional distress, with a criminal record filed. Furthermore, the education authorities intervened and concluded that Fang Yao had organized candidates to collectively boycott the national exam and disrupted order at the test site. Fang Yao's Gaokao results were invalidated, and she is barred from registering for the National College entrance examination for 3 years. 3 years. She didn't even get the chance to repeat the year. Chapter 12. Late August. The university acceptance letter arrived. It was a school in the south, not top tier, but it would do. As I tore open the envelope, my fingers finally betrayed a slight tremor. It wasn't excitement. It was something deeper, something nameless, welling up from my chest. My mother watched me from the side, silent for a long while, before finally reaching out to ruffle my hair. Sweetheart, I never asked you what exactly happened during that time. If you don't want to talk about it, I won't ask, but you did the right thing. I lowered my head, my nose stinging sharply. I didn't cry. Throughout the summer, news of what happened to everyone kept trickling in. After Liu Sei got out of the detention center, his father sent him to live with a relative in another city. I heard he was working at a hardware factory in a small town, moving stock. The plan was to do that for a year, and then figure things out. His mom called my mom several times, pleading, "He's still just a kid. Please don't press charges." My mom hung up on her. Wang Hao repeated his final year of high school, but his mom and Fang Yao's mom got into a 2-month-long online feud over who was the ringleader and who should take responsibility, completely severing ties between the two families. Wang Hao didn't even last a semester at his new school before dropping out. The reason? Someone recognized him and posted screenshots from the internet on the classroom door. He Ming, I heard, went to a vocational school. When his father left the parents' group chat, he posted one final message. That woman, Ms. Fang, has ruined my son's life. Both Shang Yutong and Lin Ku were repeating their final year of high school, but their names had spread across the local internet alongside that news story. No matter which school they went to, someone would recognize them. Wherever they went, people would whisper behind their backs. They're the ones who protested outside the Gaokao and missed their chance to take it. As for Fang Yao, in September, Zhou Yan sent me a screenshot. Fang Yao had posted on her WeChat Moments. No caption, just a single photo. Her, standing behind a bubble tea shop counter, wearing a work apron, head bowed. The comments were turned off, barred from taking the National College entrance exam for 3 years. She lost the defamation lawsuit. The collection of screenshots is forever circulating online. No school was willing to take her. Her mother and father argued over it so much they ended up separating at 18. She was working behind the counter at a bubble tea shop. Zhao Nian commented under the screenshot. She once said, the thing she hated most was the idea of being trapped in a small town as a waitress for the rest of her life. I stared at it for 3 seconds. I closed the chat window. I didn't reply. September 1st tea. I stood outside the university dormitory dragging my suitcase. The sun beat down on my back, so hot my shirt clung to my skin. The phone rang. An unknown number. I answered it. Shinikeha. It was Fang Yao's voice. It was much lower and hoarser than before, like a cold that never went away. You've destroyed everything for me. I stood in the sunlight and said nothing. I just wanted to fight for a fair exam environment for everyone. Was I wrong? Why are you doing this to me? You knew everything. You knew there wouldn't be enough time. You deliberately didn't tell us. Fang Yao. She stopped. When you sent that message in the group chat on June 1st. I left the group. When you called me on June 2nd, I told you I'm not getting involved. When you went live on June 3rd and leaked my information, someone in the comments analyzed the security checkpoint timing. You deleted that comment. There was silence on the other end of the line. On June 4th, Lu Sai brought people to smash my door down. On June 5th, you said in the group, not a single one can be missing. On June 6th, Lu Sai threatened me with, just you wait. From start to finish. Over 7 days, you had 37 people with you. I only had myself. Her breathing grew ragged with an uncontrollable tremor. You say I ruined everything for you. My voice was flat. Your everything was something you carried to the edge of the with your own hands, and then pushed over yourself. All I did was not help you carry it. Fang Yao's sobs leaked through the phone, broken and halting, as if she was trying to swallow them back with and clamped over her mouth. I hung up the phone, blocked, put the phone back in my pocket, looked up the university dormitory building, blocked half the sun, its shadow falling at my feet but not quite reaching me. The wheels of the suitcase behind me rumbled over the concrete ground. Before leaving, I had taken that backup phone from the drawer in my school uniform pocket and checked its storage. All the videos and audio recordings were still there. I powered it off and put it back in the drawer. I don't need it anymore. Not in this lifetime. Pushing my suitcase, I walked through the entrance of the dormitory building. Light poured in from behind, stretching my shadow long. 1 step, 2 steps. The door closed behind me. The wind doesn't reach here.